All right. Welcome to day 3 of the Prosperity and Healing Summit. And the first person we have up is Sasha. Yay.
Good
Happy,
morning, world.
happy solstice. So I'm going to read your bio first, or a little bit of it. I love that yours starts with a poem. So this is in Sasha's words. Who I am is a possibility that sex is natural, sex is fun, you are sacred, and we are one. So Sasha helps people remove physical, mental, emotional blocks like fear, pain, and stuckness to live courageously, enjoying full self-expression, freedom, and inner peace through play, intimacy, and connection to others. So she's a play coach. She does interactive events. She's ordained minister and priestess of Aphrodite. She uncovers the mysteries of uniting duality and transforming into oneness through intimacy with self, relationships, and community through play. So she created this amazing thing called the Self-Discovery Dive, which is a guided meditation which leads the client directly to their own best medicine. Purple Circle, which is an adult sex ed curriculum and radical relating discussion circle for all genders. And the Galactic Goddess Gathering, which actually, yeah, it was fun to be part of that discussion with you. We'll talk about that more. Which empowers an annual empowerment retreat on a quest on the globe for love, and come play honest and brave, which is a truth or dare. So you do a lot of things and you're very, 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 very creative. And I know that you also, so we have a theme with a lot of, you're one of the many people who've been here who was also comes from the theater background, comes from the arts and came into healing. So I guess what's your story that how you make the switch from like, I'm this amazing artist or I'm this actress performer into I'm a healer now? How did that switch happen for you?
I love that question. Yeah, I mean, I was a theater major in college and it was a professional actor and producer and director for a while afterwards. And I had a heartbreak about theater. I was like, you go to a piece of theater and they tell you sit down, be quiet, and pretend you're not there. Right. And I'm like, I can do that from the comfort of my couch with my Netflix and my remote. Like, why would I bother going somewhere to be in something live if I have to pretend I'm not there? And that it just was heartbreaking to me about theater. And I thought, theater is going to die. Like, if it's not dead already, it's going to die. So how can I breathe a new life into it? And that's when I created Come Play Honest and Brave, which is like a conscious truth or dare game. But the first rule of it is everyone plays and everyone spectates. And I started creating these pieces of theater, interactive, experiential theater, where the audience became part of the show and became part of the participants and played with the actors in it. So it became more of an event, right? And then I found this sort of women's empowerment work through another goddess gathering and through my work in journey dance, which is a beautiful, amazing form of dance that also uses some theater and gestalt technique to process through one's feelings. And after that, I just was like, there's something else here. There's more. Like theater started as a ritual originally, right? As if you like look at Greek theater, it was a ritual to Dionysus, the god of theater and wine. And they were teaching people these moral lessons in that ancient theater. So for me, it was easy to translate. Now it was a play, then it was an event into a ritual called the Goddess Gathering. And we started creating, a 5-day show or 3-day shows called the Goddess Gathering, which, in a way was similar to theater where it wasn't just me presenting, right? Marie was a presenter, Jenny Marie was a presenter. And we would pass this spotlight, if you will, to each other. And then that's when this sort of healing component started to come into all of my work. And then I was sort of being coached already, but I was being coached and mentored, and then having my world and mind blown open by these other amazing healers, and being fed by that and growing as a coach myself. So over the last, it was, I registered my business Come Play in 2014. I was doing things with that since like 2011. And then Goddess Gathering, first one was 2016. So for a long time now, I've been putting these tools of theater and drama and therapy and movement into a ritualistic form, whether it be coaching or an event.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe that's that question. But I mean, that's a big question to me, actually. It was. And I think that the thing I love about the question so much is that we so often, like, as humans, think of art in any form, theater or whatever, drawing, whatever, as this silly, childish plaything, entertainment. When for me, it's the tool, it's the access. Play is the access to your creativity and then to your prosperity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So another question. Because I love that you do the purple circle, but what led you to what made you decide one day to wake up and like, I'm going to be an adult sex ed teacher?
Also a big question. I'll try to be brief. So I think I had a negative experience when I was young, and then I ended up through that bad experience getting a reputation as the SLUT, right? And what that did for me was just give me a weird opening into being okay with sex. Like I was already made wrong for have doing anything around it, so I might as well just go into it, right? So I was always that person that was willing to have an experience and then willing to talk to others about it, and just be accepting and like allow somebody the space to talk to me about some question in that way. Long time ago, but that was sort of the buildup. And then I was doing attending these red tent events, if you've heard of them. They're like women's monthly gatherings. But the problem was most of the women were straight and cisgendered, and they were dating hetero men, and they were complaining about them. My man this, my man that. And I was like, whoa, we have a messed up dynamic on the planet, roughly called, well, I mean, I don't mean to trigger anybody with this concept, but of rape culture on the planet. Take what you want, do what you want, and I thought it's going to take all of us, like every single one of us, all the genders, everyone, to shift this to consent culture. And that's when I decided that we had to start having these conversations together. So, we started as just sort of an experiment of a discussion, and then it's turned into, a 500-page book with, a 9-week curriculum. And I'm training a year-long facilitator training program for people that want to facilitate. So that's a monthly moon circle right now, but for everybody on the last Wednesday of the month, and you can join that through our Patreon.
Okay. Awesome. So you're going to Greece.
Oh my gosh.
So
yes.
Yeah. So Sasha and I were joking when we were in the Miracle Club about this is like the year of yes, like just going back to theater and doing improv, the yes and. Because I know for a minute that trip wasn't going to happen. So let's actually talk about like how you go from like an idea, having people have opinions about your idea, and what helped you like internally, like what were your feelings and things that helped you move forward into this big deal, right? This trip, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody, one of the things that we are blocked and stopped by as a general rule in humanity is our own like perfectionism. Like it has to be right. It has to be perfect. We have to get everything planned out, all the things before we even experiment or try something. So that is not my style. So if you work with me, know that you'll be like pushed into an edge of go for it, just try it. We don't know what the experiment will hold. And that's often how I develop my projects. So that experimentation creates a leap of faith in a way, right? So long story short, we've been doing the Goddex Gathering. We did 6 gatherings in a row. Then I got engaged and moved up to Washington and got married in a year. And we took that year off. But ever since 2020, I wanted to go in 2021. We'd started planning the trip to Greece in 2020, and then COVID. So for 2 years we couldn't go, and finally I was like, all right, y'all, all I want to do is take my goddesses to Greece, my favorite country on earth, and introduce you to my people and my yaya and take you to my favorite places. So can anybody find that yes and go this year? And we had a meeting, and just as a question, could you get your booty over there this year, or do we need to wait till next year? And there were a few people that were like, yar, we're going this year, I might be pregnant next year, like this is my year. So we decided to go for it. So in October we're doing 2 immersive weeks in Greece, all over islands to Athens to beyond. And we'll be doing rituals on site. We'll also be creating a documentary during this trip called Chasing Love, a trip through time and space in search of the love goddess. And it won't stop with this year. We're basically planning to travel the gathering for the next 5-6 years. So in search of different love goddess iterations in her places.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm
He's
so
with me
excited.
next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're in next year, Agnes. Is that right?
With me.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, she's got an amazing itinerary planned. So, all right. So let's actually switch gears. So we're going to do the stopping and starting.